Hi folks, today I'm just going to do a few things here in the grow room. I have some seeds sprouted and I got a couple ideas on starting seeds to give to you as well. So we'll look around and see. First off, this is the first of the seeds that I put in for cold stratification. They only needed 30 days cold stratification. So it was 6 days now that I've taken these out. Yesterday I planted 2 in these cups. So you can see I planted them on February the 18th, but I didn't take them out until a couple of days ago. It's the 28th now. It was the 22nd, I believe, I took them out. Let's see, I'm going to take the camera up and be behind it so I can show you better. One here that's sprouted. Let's see how close the camera will go. Another one right there. This one was sprouted yesterday, but it wasn't out quite far enough for my liking to plant it. And I believe there's another one here somewhere. Yes, it's right below us here. Right there. So I'm going to put all 4 of those now into these cups. To make sure the seeds don't have any problem coming up, I don't put, I'm a lefty, see, and I always get my hand in the way. I don't press the soil down on top of them. I just use my tweezers. And I put because this is the radical, the root end, I put that facing down. Now that hole wasn't quite deep enough, so I'm going to make them deeper. If you put them down and you press the seed down, then you risk breaking the radical, their little root that's coming out, and in that way you may kill the little sprout. So you have to make this hole deep enough that it will drop right out of sight just like that. And then I just lightly put the soil in over the top. Like I say, I won't pack it down. Just like so. And now I'm going to put them in this tray. The seeds that I had in there, they have sprouted and I had to take them out because if I left them there, they would get long. But if I put the Osage orange in this tray, then I can put the humidity dome back on and give them a better chance of growing. The broadleaf sage, there's one started there, but I will leave them till tomorrow. And we'll go below here. Here are the seeds that were in there. This is the Brussels sprouts, eggplant, Siberian pea shrub. Now I got 3 Siberian pea shrub right here. The first one that sprouted, I got him put up into a bigger cup, and he seemed to be growing nicely. The echinacea, it seems to be one of those plants that's going to start off slowly. See, they're still really tiny. The lovage is coming along, and there's the broadleaf sage. 3, and I have one in this. Now I'm going to tell you about that in just a little bit. The onions, they're all doing so nice. You remember this guy from my last indoor growing update? And he was taller, and I cut the top off him so that I would get a bushed out pepper plant. It's a California Wonder, and it has grown nicely. All of this lower growth, it wasn't there when I cut the top off. It was just growth from here up. So it's coming out and bushing out really nicely. Now, what did I do with the piece that I cut off? I put it in here. It seems to be still alive. It hasn't started to grow yet. What I did, I just stripped everything off, leaving just a stick except for the few leaves on top. And the large leaves, they wilted, so I cut them off, and there were just the tiny leaves left on. These leaves, actually, I think they were a little smaller, so this has grown a little bit. To show you what I did, I'm going to take a piece off of this plant. Now, there's flowers on it, but oh well. Take that one, I'm putting right there. So we got our little piece of pepper plant. Now we've clipped it down. This one might fade, we'll see. I'm going to move this over here now. So it's going to go in this cup, and I'm going to try to put the end right down almost to the bottom of the cup. So that's what I did with this one. And then I just took the end of the paintbrush, made a hole like that so that I could just stick the piece in and press the soil around it. But for this one, I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to scratch, just lightly scratch the surface of the stem, just a couple of inches there. In here I have some rooting gel. So I'm going to wipe that on this stem. It may or may not help. Now to put that guy down there, just press it like that so the soil's in around. And I have to make a label. That's your chocolate pepper. Stick a label in, and now we'll see what happens. This one we'll just put in, just like I said, take off the leaves and stick the piece in. This one I scratched and put some rooting gel on it. And let's compare. I was watching the channel You Can't Eat the Grass. She put out a video comparing different grow lights. And she had downloaded a program to her phone to measure the amount of light her grow lights were putting out. So I went online this morning and I checked this. So here we can see how much light do my indoor plants need. It talks about not just indoor plants but outdoor plants. You see the description of full sun or partial shade. So we've got light intensity and light amount. Light intensity is measured in lux, and light amount, of course, the time, then how many hours. And here we've got the intensity for different things. An overcast day is 1000 lux, full daylight 10,000 to 25,000, and direct sunlight 32,000 to 100,000. Now I am assuming that is the two down the bottom is like that because it depends on your latitude, I would assume. And if the sun is straight overhead, then you'll have much stronger sunlight than you would, say, in my latitude at 49 degrees north. So if we scroll down right here, so we have low light plants needs a lux of 500 to 2500, medium light plants 2500 to 10,000, bright light plants 10,000 to 20,000, and very bright light plants 20,000 to 50,000. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit closer. See, most plants will survive at 10 times lower value than specified. In other words, 1/10 of what is specified there. But they won't thrive. Hence why low light plants can grow in 50 lux, even though they should have 500 to thrive. So, as I said, I downloaded the light meter on my phone. And on this shelf, I have 3 of those 4-foot lights that I got at Canadian Tire. They were on sale for 20 bucks a piece, so $60. And now if I take my phone and put it down close to where the plants are, we have 7,000. It oscillates. So if we go up here, you see the maximum was 7,500. If I were to lower them down just a couple of inches from the plants, let's see if I can get it there. Now, see, we're up to 13,000, and the maximum, it actually hit 15,000 at one point. So 3 lights on a 2-foot by 5-foot shelf is plenty to grow your plants indoors. Up here is the ones I have 8 lights here. They're the replacement for 60 watts. So 9-watt LEDs. So at the plant level, I've got 1,000. It got up to 1,700. These more, you had to point them more right at the light. When you go right underneath the light bulb, you've got about 1,500, between 12 and 1,500 straight down below. Sometimes you'll get as high as 2,000, and then you move away, it'll drop off. Now, of course, this I can easily go and get the 100 watt replacements and have greater light. I was wondering, because these plants now, as I was saying in the last update, that I was going to have to take out this shelf and have an area here for bigger plants. Well, these got too big for the upper shelf, so I put them down here on the floor, and I have these 4 lights here. So now let's see how much light they're getting. These 2 lights are once again 60 watt replacements. And basically they're giving me the same as what I got over there on the top shelf with the other 60 watt replacements. Now I have this one here. It's a little bit of a distance away, and as you can see I got as high as 10,000. And I go over to the other side, really close. See, it's up to 65,000. It hit 69,000. These lights are 17 watt spotlights, and therefore they put out over twice the amount of light as those 60 watt replacements. The web page that I showed you is saying that medium light plants are 2,500 to 10,000. So plenty of light. If you take 10% of the bright light plants, they got 10,000 there. That means it can survive at 1,000. And the very bright light plants can survive at 2,000 to 5,000. So that's why my plants are doing so well. Now I'm going to tell you about this little thing I got here. So toilet paper rolls, I tried that before. And someone else recently lamented the same thing. If you take your toilet paper rolls and you fill them with soil, and you got a whole bunch of these in a container, they get wet in between toilet paper rolls, they mold very quickly. So what my plan was, I would snip them every so far, same depth with every snip. So now it's all snipped around, you see. And then fold them in. You have to fold them all the way in, like that. The reason being, if you don't, they come back so far. So once you've got them folded all the way in, then you can push them out a bit, and you've got that. And then it will sit flat for you. Now what I have in here is linseed oil. So you can see it sitting down in the linseed oil, and it's inside here. The pieces that are folded in, some of them are sticking above. So I'm going to stick this down in there so that all those pieces get coated in linseed oil. There's that part. Then I lay it down. Just roll it around. Linseed oil is non-toxic, so it doesn't matter about getting it on your fingers. It doesn't go sticky really fast like urethane or something would. And it drip off, and then you just set it out on something like that and you let it dry. It takes a long time to dry. This one I did last night. It's still not quite dry. You see? And here's one that I did a while ago. I didn't do the bottom with the snip it in curve and tip them in. It's just the straight toilet paper roll. And when it dries, this is now quite stiff. And when it gets water on it, you see the water runs right off. So that's what this one is. I filled it up with soil and put the one broadleaf sage in it. So that's just another idea for you if you're like me and didn't like these going moldy on you. And then also, if you don't have it right full, the top part can wick away water. Now you've got a non-toxic container that you could just push the plug out and probably reuse this. I don't know yet. It will eventually break down. It will take a while with the linseed oil in it, but it will eventually biodegrade and rot away in your soil. So you can plant the pot now if you want. And that's my little bit of update for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me, and I'll see you in the next video.